Welcome to the Rewilding Womb, a space where birth, body wisdom, and feminine power are remembered and reclaimed. I'm Sabrina, an out-of-hospital midwife devoted to physiological birth, deep listening, and protecting the sacred threshold of pregnancy, birth, and postpartum.
And I'm Danielle, a photographer and doula, here to witness, support, and document the raw, transformative journey of being a woman. Together, we're having honest conversations about birth, postpartum, boundaries, and what it means to return to our instincts in a modern world.
This is the Rewilding Womb, where we trust birth, honor the mother, and come home to ourselves. Welcome to another episode of the Rewilding Womb. We're here with Teresa. She's going to tell us her story about becoming a mom and dealing with severe mastitis. We're also going to talk about some deeper and difficult things as well about like worst case scenario, what mastitis can do to a woman, and how once you have a severe reaction like that, your body is more prone to having another severe reaction to another trauma years down the road. So thank you so much, Teresa, for being here with us.
You're welcome.
And we are really excited for you to share your mothering journey. And feel free to talk about other topics as well.
Okay.
But I just definitely wanted you to share a couple of specific parts of your story because I think they're rare.
Mm-hmm.
What you went through are very rare situations, but this is a very broad audience. This is a worldwide audience. Anyone has access to our podcast via YouTube or Spotify. And we're here to want to empower other women. And because you have overcome two very, very difficult things, I think that your story will be impactful to other mamas somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
With this whole journey, that's one thing that I look at as a silver lining is that I've had these experiences and the people around me have in turn experienced them as well. And then we can help other women, which I think is so fantastic.
Yes.
Because there are so many opportunities where women could receive help, but the people around them have never heard of it or have never experienced anything like that. So then there's this huge gap. So I'm very happy to share this in a way, not to sound like sick and twisted, but yeah. I'm very happy to share this. I want to start with, I have a very strong support system. So I think that is very important for everyone to know, is that I have a very strong support system. And I have a very good mom and a very good husband. And I have great friends and resources. So that is important. With my first baby, birth was fine. I had a hospital birth. I labored for a very long time. She just wouldn't engage fully in the birth canal. So after exhaustion, they were like, you should probably get an epidural. And I was like, oh. But I did. And then a couple hours later, I pushed for an hour and I had my baby. It was great. She was beautiful. She was healthy. She was perfect. And I knew going into it, I wanted to breastfeed, which I was really supported with by my midwife in the hospital setting, the lactation consultant, my husband, my mom. And I tried. And 3 days after nursing, my milk came in very strong and I got mastitis for the first time. And I was able to clear that up just with massage and kind of what the protocol was 5 years ago, because it's different now than what it was 5 years ago. And I did that. But I was focused so much on my left breast that I wasn't aware of what was going on with my right breast. And I had a reprieve for about a week. And then I got mastitis really severe in my right breast. And once I finally realized it, I was trying to do the same thing, pumping, extra nursing, and massage, warm compress, which we know now you should do a cool compress.
Mhm.
And so it spiraled really fast. I had it for a week and then something didn't feel right.
So you had mastitis for a week, or you just had a firm, hard,
I had
clogged
mastitis
breast?
for a week.
So describe that to us.
I had a fever, I had aches, I had chills. I felt like I had been hit by a bus, which
Mhm.
happened in my left breast. I felt like I had the same symptoms, but I got it taken care of. But in my right breast, since my immune system was already down more from having mastitis the first time, when it really started to rear its head that I had it in my right breast, I was already so depleted.
Mhm.
And so I remember laying in bed and just being like, something's not right this time. This is horrible. I had a necklace on and I remember it like it was yesterday. It brushed across the top of my breast and I thought I was going to die. It hurt so incredibly bad. And I was like, whoa, something is so wrong. Because I had slept and then I had woke up to that feeling and I was like, this is not right. I texted my midwife and I said, I think I have severe mastitis and something feels terribly wrong. She said, you need to go to the emergency room immediately because what you're describing to me, it could get gnarly pretty fast. Literally,
Yeah.
it could get gnarly pretty fast. And I said, okay. Evelyn was sleeping.
Can we just pause for a second?
Yeah.
So you had mastitis on the left side
Mhm.
previously.
Yep.
And then that cleared up somehow.
Mhm.
What was the treatment that cleared that up? Just normal things you were doing at home, or did you get on antibiotics?
No antibiotics
Okay.
the first time. Yeah, just normal things. I had a little vibrating massager.
Yep.
I think it, gosh, what was it? A Frida massager,
Yeah.
the one that had the little circle at the end. And I
Mm.
used that. But
What were other signs?
I had the hard lump
hard
up
lump.
here.
Okay. Like any redness?
The redness had started about 2 days before I texted my midwife that
Okay.
something was like
Yep.
terribly wrong. And so Evelyn was sleeping. She was like starting to sleep longer stretches because we're almost a month postpartum at this point. And I was like, I don't want to wake her up. So I let her sleep. I got myself ready for the hospital. I got things ready to prep her, to take her to the hospital with me because my husband was working. My mother was still working full time. And I did text them and I was like, hey, I'm having to go to the hospital. Things just aren't going right. When someone gets a chance, could you please come to OB triage? And I went in and I got there and I had a fever, I had aches, I had chills, I was freezing. They tried to do an ultrasound on my breast. I could literally have nothing touching it. It hurt so bad. And they were like, you clearly have mastitis. It's severe. And they were like, we think an abscess is starting to form. I said, okay. So they sent me over to the Ellis Fischel breast cancer clinic. They're like, we're going to have to do an ultrasound. We have to see how big this abscess is. We have to see what's going on. I said, okay. My mom has taken Evelyn at this point. Michael is with me. And it's the size of an orange. This abscess is now.
Goodness.
That was caused from the mastitis. And they drain it. They're in office with a needle that was this big. And that was horrible.
Extremely painful.
Oh, it was extremely painful. They had tried to give me some topical anesthetic for it. It did not touch it. I also need a lot of anesthetic.
I mean,
anyways, because of just how my body's
Yes.
made. So it's horrible.
Not that there's really anything that anyone can compare that to, but more people would have the maybe the experience of going to the dentist with a tooth that is actively infected
Yes.
and how painful that can be to get that numbed up.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It's like if there's an active infection, it just makes it where the numbing does not work as well.
Right.
And it's way more painful,
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
Absolutely.
dentists won't usually do anything to a really infected tooth. They're like, you take some antibiotics and let that calm down
Mm-hmm.
before we mess with it for several reasons.
Right.
But yeah.
But I was past that
Oh, yeah.
point.
You were way past that point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were now treading like dangerous infection that they needed to try to extract as
At
much
what
as they
point
could.
had they drawn your blood at that point to see what your
No.
blood levels were looking at?
Mm-mm.
They didn't. They were going to go in to try to drain an abscess without even doing blood work yet.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they drained it. I remember clutching Michael's hand so hard and just quietly tears just streaming down my face. And I was like, okay, I have to do this. Like, I have to get better for my baby. This is just part of it. And I'm the kind of person that you could rip my fingernails off if you told me that it's going to make you feel better in the end. I'll do it. It's crazy, but I'll do it. And so they said, you might have to come in about another 2 days just to get it drained one more time. I said, okay. Because after they drained it, I started to feel relief, which was great. Now, we left the hospital. We went home, and I'm folding laundry with my husband. And I can literally feel the abscess starting to fill back up. And I looked at him. I said, I think we're going to have to go back to the hospital tomorrow. He said, why don't we go tonight? And he said, I'll give it some time.
Oh, no.
I'll give it some time. And he's like, I don't know, Teresa. Let's just go ahead and go. And I'm like, no, it's fine. We'll give it some time. They said, probably in 2 days. I said, so let's give it some time. No, because then I went to sleep and then I woke up the next morning. Thank God my mom came home to my house. She came to my house because Evelyn had to have a lip tie adjustment. What am I looking for? Revision.
Yeah, revision.
Revision. And so we went to that. And while Evelyn was having her lip tie revision, I had to sit down. And I said, Mom, I need you to be there with her. I was like, I can't. And my mom's little alarm went off. She's like, this is not my daughter. My daughter is like a tiger mom already. Like there's no way that she would be like, I can't be there for my baby right now. So
like, off we go.
yeah, she
back
was
to the
like,
ER.
we're going back. And the midwife, she was like, just come in to see me. I'm going to look at you. I'm going to assess you and we're going to make a decision from there.
Right.
I said, okay, great. So I told my mom, I'm like, you just stay at home with Evelyn at my house and I'll drive myself there. And I'm driving and I'm pumping as I'm driving, trying to get some relief. And I know it's horrible.
Lucky you didn't pass out or something.
No, it's so, I am. I really am.
You had some divine protection that day.
I really did, because I got there and I got up to her and I was already
Collapsed.
not cognizant of everything that was going on. And she said, I cannot let you leave. And she pulls out her phone. She's on the phone with the recovery floor for labor and delivery for postpartum.
Yeah.
And she goes, we need to get her a room ASAP. She was like, do whatever you can. We need to get her in there. She's like, I need so much blood work done on her. She was like, this mom, I'm pretty sure, is going into septic shock.
Yep.
She was like, I'll have my assistant walk you up there. And I was like, I don't know how to get there. It's fine. And she goes, nope, I'm going to have him walk you up. Thank God, because by the time I got up there, I was not functioning. It happened so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I just deteriorated.
Can we pause right
Yeah,
there?
absolutely.
That's a little suspense spot. Y'all stay here. But let's just go back. You mentioned a tongue tie revision or a lip tie revision. So we know that baby's latch wasn't the greatest.
No.
So wanting to talk about contributing factors.
Oh, there were a ton of contributing factors
That
to
looking
this.
back now you see that maybe
Oh,
at
yeah.
that time. So let's just give the moms a little bit of information of things looking back you would have seen if you knew then what you know now.
Yes. So, one, I am a mass producer.
Yes.
I overproduce like there's no tomorrow. Two, I had a breast reduction when I was in college, and I was told, you're going to still be able to nurse. It's going to be fine. Women who get breast reductions, they are able to go on and nurse successfully. It's not a big deal. Okay, well, not true.
Yeah.
So just
I
know
mean,
that.
that's just, they're just trying to sell their procedure to you.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
this is the biggest problem that we talk about all the
Yeah.
time, Danielle and I here, about how women are not being fully informed.
Right. Absolutely.
They just tell you
I
what
can attest
they
to that.
want to tell you to
Right.
get you to agree with whatever it is they want to do or
Mhm.
whatever amount of money they want to make over the thing you're inquiring about, instead of giving all of the risks and benefits
Right.
or alternatives.
Right. And individualized care too, because depending on like what is going on with our bodies and how we heal as
Mhm.
well. Because different surgeries, like someone will have a surgery and heal completely fine. But then you got someone else that has other issues like Ehlers-Danlos or anything where it's like, okay, well, now you have connective tissue issues. Now you're going to be having more scar tissue develop, and
Mhm.
that can compromise certain areas of your body.
Right.
And so, yeah, they're not asking these questions.
They're not.
It would have been helpful if they said most women
most
do
women.
fine,
women do
but there is
fine.
a chance that
Yes.
it could affect it.
Right.
So you feel like perhaps there was something going on that
Yes.
has just made your breast tissue a little more susceptible.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Third, I have very fatty milk. Like very fatty. I was like passing blebs the size of my thumb.
Oh.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just, the cards were stacked against me in that situation.
Yeah.
And I was told to pump to empty my breasts out after nursing to help build my supply. Wrong thing to tell
No,
me.
not overproducer.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Right. But they told me that before I even left the hospital postpartum,
Yeah.
right after having Evelyn, because that was like standard procedure to suggest that to women. And I'm like,
I always tell women,
yikes.
don't do anything. Just nurse baby on the same side until they act like they're discontent but still want to feed, and then put them on the other side, especially until about day 4 or 5 when we see how is your body going to respond to milk production.
Right.
Because I have the experience like yourself of being an overproducer. I did get severe mastitis with my first as well. Not that severe, but it was pretty bad in that I was put on antibiotics as well.
Right.
When my baby was like 5 days old, and it was like I had a situation where I passed out. I was at home by myself. He was 6 days old, and I had just fed him, went to take a shower. I literally passed out in the hall, and I was out cold for at least a couple of hours
Oh, I
before.
remember this on your last podcast. You were like, luckily I put him down in a safe
I know, yes.
place.
Yeah.
So and I am an overproducer like you, but nobody ever told me that. And I had several more babies, and then started having out of hospital birth babies. And even my midwives weren't really able to help me with the overproduction thing. It wasn't until my 6th that I was like, listen, if this is a supply and demand issue, I'm going to cut down the demand, and you get one side for 8 hours, and then I'm putting you to the other side.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that is the one thing that I finally figured out when she was 3 months old, that I didn't have boulders on my chest anymore at 3 months old. But that was me with all of my babies up until her. I would literally have boulders, hard rocks. And then, of course, and the baby doesn't latch well, puts you in tons of pain.
Yeah, because your
and all
nipple
this stuff.
can't fully erect
Yeah.
because it's so engorged.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would be that way for like 3 or 4 months with every single kiddo. So the thing is, not everyone recognizes that there's super producers out
Right.
there like yourself who then the blanket advice is bad advice for
so
you.
bad.
Yeah.
It's
For
so
you.
bad.
So
bad.
and so, I also, as a midwife, see a lot of times with mastitis that it's a stress response as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, you said you had your baby in the hospital.
Right.
So, you probably didn't get the advice of stay in bed for a minimum of 3 solid days. Don't leave your
No.
home for at least a week or 2.
Mm-mm.
Just chill. Don't
Oh, yeah,
do
no.
anything.
Not at all. I was like up and like moving and grooving as much as my body would allow me and my baby would allow me.
Yes.
If I wasn't nursing her,
Uh-huh.
then I was up and I was doing things.
Uh-huh. Just as a midwife and as a woman who's dealt with it, I had to learn the hard way, as you
Right.
probably did.
I did.
That's one reason why midwives and doulas are like, you need to not be out running around. You don't need to be cleaning your house at day
No.
4 or 5. Just let things go because your health and your baby are more important.
Because not only does it affect you in the moment, it affects you years later.
Oh, yeah.
Years later. Which most women don't know until years later. They're like, why am I still struggling so much?
Mhm.
Like, well, your body really needed time to heal after that. And you didn't give it a chance. And you've just been powering through for half a decade now.
Yeah.
That's hard. 20 years. You're
Oh,
looking
half a
back and you're
century?
like,
I know.
whoa.
Yes. I remember myself too. Like I wanted to be busy as well. Like just my mindset, like sitting down is it makes me anxious.
Right.
So like I wanted to do things, but I knew my body needed to heal. I was feeling all those sensations. And then like later on in my postpartum period, 6 months later, a year later, I'm like, did I do that to myself? Why?
Yeah.
And so, but I wanted to go back too with like the lip ties and things like that. So like we receive a lot of women, most women receive care that in the hospitals of a lactation consultant that comes on and into their room for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, sits with them, talks with them, goes over just the basics and then sends them home and says, come back or schedule a lactation appointment later on.
Right.
And like, they don't know, they don't have a lot of information unless they have like a doula, like you and I, they'll have doulas and like give them the information. Okay, here's the consultants. And I actually require now, like I tell my clients, get someone on your books, like
Right.
before you even give birth, like
Yeah.
have someone connect with them, get their information, and literally as you're home, reach out to them, especially in-home lactation consultants now.
Oh my gosh, those are
We have a
amazing.
couple of those in town. That is someone to look for
It is because you take your
Yeah.
baby. Oh my God, you're
Yeah.
postpartum and you're taking your baby already
Right.
to postpartum visits.
Yes.
They're pediatrician visits if
Pediatricians,
you're
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
And then you're taking them to lactation consultant
Yes.
appointments. And it's just exhausting.
It is so
It's so
exhausting.
hard.
And
And
now,
a lot of moms are doing it by themselves because their partners are back at work.
right.
Mhm.
And so it's like making sure that they have that support. And I think I even have some chiropractors now that are becoming IBCLCs.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
I
like,
love that.
yeah,
Mhm.
so now you can get, both worlds. You've got chiropractic care and they know what to look for with like just like their fascia and everything.
Yes.
It is such a game changer for
It
so
is a game
many.
changer. And so many babies could bypass a revision, a lip tie or tongue tie revision with chiropractic care, with myofascial work.
Yes.
I will say that I see the most quickest improvement with little ones with cranial sacral therapy.
Yes.
Working that fascia.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my daughter who got severe mastitis, could have ended up in the hospital, but she has a midwife mom,
Right.
and a very supportive family, a husband, 3 sisters, just very supportive family who was there to care for her.
Right.
And we did take her to see somebody. We did get her antibiotics, and I helped her manage that. But the the thing is, she too, her baby was born
Mhm.
and the first day I assessed her because she had a
Mhm.
home birth, of course. And then, as I do every baby, assess them in that first couple of hours. And I always tell families what the baby's mouth, lip, tongue, cheek mobility is like.
Mhm.
And oftentimes we just wait and see how things go. But her oral mobility was so tight.
Mhm.
I thought she is for sure going to need a revision, but we will start with chiropractic and craniosacral therapy. Because I have seen over the years that let's start with the body work and then we can follow up with an actual revision if it's still needed. And a lot of times it is.
Oh, it
But then
is.
the babies still need that body work after the revision to help them regain their mobility. And so for her, though, she regained mobility just with body work.
That's great.
And
Awesome.
within a month, that little girl could stick her tongue out so far. It just
I
blew my
love
mind.
that.
And so she didn't actually need a revision, but that's not the case for all babies. Sometimes they do need a revision, but the more I've worked with these women, the more I see sometimes body work is the thing that works first and they don't ever have to go get the actual
Right.
revision.
And I wish I would have known that because here I am 5 years later, almost. She's so close to being 5. Oh, but
Don't
5
push it
years
too
later,
fast.
no, I'm
No.
like, oh gosh. I was like almost 5 and I'm like, oh no, this month she turns 5. She's having to have myofascial work done.
Mm.
And I have had to dive so deep in that, just one as a mother, as a doula, as wanting my child to have a comfortable physical and mental well-being journey through life.
Yeah.
And she's 5 and she grinds her teeth so hard at night. She has all of these other mouth issues and now she's getting work done on it and it has improved so much. So I'm
But that
like,
just
I wish
tells
I could have,
you,
I wish I would have had that knowledge that I have now 5 years ago,
yes.
Yeah.
but I didn't. And you can't go back and change it, but what you can do is do better from
Moving
here on out.
forward and
Mhm.
don't beat yourself up over
Oh
it.
no,
Right.
not
You
at
know,
all.
I was doing a postpartum visit, a 7-week postpartum visit with a mom the other day who this is her 4th baby.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had all home births, but she had a different midwife with the first 2. And the 3rd and 4th, I was her midwife. And here we are at 7 weeks postpartum. And she came to me at about 3.5 weeks and same situation. I assessed baby looked, I was like, there's some restrictions here, but let's just see how things go. And baby was growing great. Mom was not having any pain. She was not dealing with engorgement. It seemed like baby was transferring well, but by 3.5 weeks, it was the tummy issues. And we'll see that a lot at about the 3 or 4 week point where all these other things are going okay, but the tummy issues are rearing up. And so mom says, I really feel like there's something going on with the way this baby moves their tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did another assessment. I'm like, yeah, there's not really been much improvement. I'm sorry I didn't notice it before because all these other things were going good.
Yeah.
And so we got this baby into body work and she did end up getting a frenectomy done pretty
Mhm.
quick, but now following up with body work. And she was just telling me the other day, when we did our visit, she said, I only nursed my first baby for 2 months because of so many problems. And I wish that I first off had more support with this whole thing. And I'm looking at her now as a 6-year-old. And like you just said, I'm seeing these things with her. And I wish I would have known
Mhm.
that this type of body work would have helped them. And so so
But
many
it's
other
not too
moms are the
late for
same
her
way.
6-year-old.
Oh, I know it's not too late for anyone, really.
Mhm.
It's just when we know better, we do better.
Right.
But so many other moms are in that same boat where
Isn't motherhood always?
Oh.
It's like a continuous journey of like,
forever.
I know better, and so now I can do better.
Yeah.
The whole journey.
Yeah.
Yes. But that body work for these babies makes such
Oh yeah.
a drastic improvement for
Mhm.
them in so many ways. So it seems like your little one did have probably lots of oral restrictions.
Yes. I mean, and the thing is I went and I saw lactation consultants because I had to use a nipple shield because I was so engorged. My nipples couldn't erect all the way. So it was like one of the only ways I could get her to latch. But also her upper lip just really flipped under when she was nursing. But she was gaining weight. She was gaining weight so fast.
Because you were an
I
overproducer.
was overproducing.
So
and
she
I
didn't
had
really
such a
have to
high
do
fat
well.
content.
Yeah, she didn't have to do well. She'd just get there and your body would just,
Oh my God.
You
It
know-
was like flooding out.
yeah, yeah.
And she cluster fed because she had that severe lip tie and she was just in so much pain, but she would just push through. And the lactation consultant, after all of this happened, she was like, I'm really sorry. Hindsight's 2020. I should have caught that better. But she was nursing. She was pushing through. When I see babies with a lip tie that severe, they are in pain and they don't want to nurse. They get really exhausted. And your daughter was just a powerhouse. I'm like,
But I think that they're also not keeping in mind, when they're looking at just the baby,
mhm,
she's not keeping in mind what your body's doing to compensate for the
Mhm.
baby's inability to adequately transfer.
right.
She's not looking at you realizing, well, it's because you have so much milk, it just floods out the baby. And the
Mhm.
baby might be at the breast all the time, but she's not adequately transferring.
Right.
And so that's why you're staying engorged. You're making way too much milk. It's not really going where it's not being extracted like it should.
Right.
So then it's causing you a lot of problems.
So many. I mean, full transparency, I was topless a majority of the first month
Well,
that I
yeah.
had her because I could not stop leaking milk. I'm not talking like a little drip here and there. I'm talking steady stream pouring out of me.
I would walk around with a
all
big
the
bath
time.
towel under my breast and just
Yeah.
walk holding it there because it's like it's just pouring everywhere.
pouring everywhere.
Oh,
It's like, how do you
jeez.
do anything? How do you function? Oh,
Girl,
it was
I can
so bad for
relate.
your
That was
mental
me
health.
so many times.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes you feel very trapped
Yes.
when you're experiencing that.
So another thing is if you are a woman who you have that severe engorgement and you're not getting adequate release, that is a sign that something's maybe going on with babies'
Mhm.
tongue and mouth and jaw mobility,
Absolutely.
and that needs to be addressed. And maybe block feed. Block feed is the thing where you just keep baby on one side for a matter of hours.
Mhm.
For me and my babies, it was like 6 to 8 hours. You only get this. I don't care how many times you nurse. You're getting this side for this block of time,
Mhm.
and then after that block of time, you get this side. But we're not overstimulating these. If I switch back and forth, and that was already me already only giving them one side for 2 hours.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it was so the whole if you have an oversupply, the more often you switch your baby from side to side, the more you're going to increase that supply.
Right.
And if you have an oversupply, do not pump.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe go in the shower and kind of hand massage, but the more you pump, the more you're causing a bigger
stimulation.
problem.
Yeah. And which is going to make your body be like, oh, this is a really hungry baby. We need to make way more. No.
Yeah.
Please, no, thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot.
yeah. So like what would be some things that you would say right to moms like now that you've learned through this process, like what would be the starting factor, like to have the lactation consultants evaluate the tie, any ties, tongue, just like restriction. What are some signs that you noticed too with her while she was nursing, like you said, like with the lip flipping under.
Yeah, her upper
yeah.
lip would flip under. She had great tongue mobility. It could extend far out. She could lift up and her tongue could adhere to her palate, which was good.
Yeah.
I paid close attention to that while she was sleeping and with her little mouth open. I was like, okay, at least her tongue stays
Yeah.
pressed up against her palate, which is good. But her lip, man, she would attach to my nipple and it was like gone.
Yeah. And
She
I,
probably had buckle ties.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I bet you her cheeks were tight.
like
Oh
any
yeah,
type
her
that you
chiropractor
saw.
right now is just she's working on
Okay.
her cheeks and her muscles in there, and she's working
You're
on her
going to a
palate.
good chiropractor
and
for
Yes.
dealing with the fascia and all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
That's good.
She's amazing. Very kid friendly, mom friendly. Her office
And that's
is
her whole
beautiful.
focus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Helping these little kids with these things.
She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes, she is.
So I would say just listen to your body. Do not have the mentality of, I'm going to push through this because I have to, because I'm a mom. That's a dangerous mentality to have.
Mm-hmm.
After having the whole experience that I did, and I'm going to say something some people might not like. It's very harsh. It's very true. But a dead mom is not a good mom.
Facts.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But this goes back to something that she said earlier and gave me this thought, and what you just said did as well. But Danielle and I, through this whole podcast, are trying to get women to listen to and trust their own instincts.
But you have to have somebody that you were around that modeled that. My mom, I'm going to pick myself up by my bootstraps. I'm going to push through and I'm going to do whatever the hell needs to be done to make it through.
Girl, that's me.
Come hell or high water.
That's been
And that was
me.
my mom.
That's been me my entire life. But because of my experiences, I want different for my daughters.
Mhm.
And that's why I am so deeply passionate about this specific thing now. Because I know that as someone who's done this for almost a half a century,
Mhm.
I need women to know this is not healthy. It's like when she was
Right.
interviewing me, she goes, "That's inspirational." I'm like, "No, it is a bad quality."
No.
There are aspects of it that, yes, in certain times that's okay.
Mhm.
And that's fine. But when we're just doing that all the time, it's like she said, when she was postpartum, what'd you say? You didn't like just sitting
Right.
and being alone because
Yeah.
you're a more social person.
Mhm.
But what one episode we were talking about what those internal feelings are and so maybe we just need to slow down and get that specific, where if you just have this check in your spirit where on one side you're feeling drawn and pulled to, you want to get out of the house, you want to do something, but then there might be this little tugging that's just like, you really should stay home and just rest.
Mhm.
It's like you have these two different voices in your head,
Yeah.
and you want to do what's familiar and what gives you pleasure in some ways, but we need to learn how to listen to that deeper, often for most women, the quieter,
Yeah.
more subtle gut. That's
The
the
one that we've
intuition.
been taught to shove down and not listen to.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we talked about this on other episodes too, because your support system is huge with this.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that support, you have to make up for it in other ways.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to do it. Like there's single women out there, single moms that do not have partners.
Right.
There's people that don't have grandparents that come by and check
Mhm.
up on them. There's people that are moved like military, like they move,
Right.
bounce around to different locations and they don't have the friends or the support.
Mhm.
So it's like, you've got to pick up and you've got to push through certain ways. But and then also you have like generational stuff that happens with like older generations that say, I did it all I'm on my own. Why do you
Right.
need this? Why do you they shame you for it? And so there's a lot to unpack,
Mhm.
man, to have a kid.
Yeah. It's a lot.
There's a lot.
It's a lot.
In my family, it's those older generations that wonder why they don't have access. Well,
Yeah.
you want to act like that? You don't get access to us. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's inspirational right
Yeah.
there.
The boundaries.
The boundaries. The
Yes.
Serena's boundary setting has literally have made me I've learned so much since we've been doing this.
Yeah.
It's just, and I've already was starting it beforehand, and I do with my clients a lot, a lot. But when it
Sometimes
comes
we have to preach it for years before
Yes.
we start really living it.
Yeah.
So often my girls are like, Mom, you tell your clients that all the time. You need to listen to your own advice. Like, I know.
Yep,
So yeah, Danielle,
that's it.
that's you in
That's
that
exactly me.
situation.
Yeah, exactly me. So, like, yeah, I totally understand, and it's just like and, like, moms that are listening right now, they're like, "Oh, man, I wish I really had that support." I mean, I wish I can
Mhm.
get
Right.
lactation consultants, or I wish we had them in our area, or, like, there's areas in the United States, in the world that have it's
They're
deserts,
deserts.
like, they're deserts,
Yeah.
and they don't have access to that
They are
care.
maternal care deserts,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
heartbreaking.
Yeah. In situations like that, community's not what it used to be, but I
Mm-mm.
would say at least look around your circle of acquaintances. And
Yes.
is there another mother who's just a little further down the road than you are
Mhm.
who you might be able to share what you're dealing with and see if she has any wisdom to share?
Right.
Right,
She
right.
doesn't have to be a grandma.
No.
She could just be a mom a few years further down the mothering journey that might have encountered
Right.
something
Yeah.
that you're doing, and just to have, someone just to talk to about it would be better than
Oh, absolutely.
like,
Connection is key.
rest is so important when it
And
comes to
rest.
mastitis and figuring out breastfeeding and all this stuff. It's just we have to make it work.
Right. You do. You do. And I was like, well, I can do this all myself. I watched my mom
Mhm.
do it all herself. My parents are married, and their dynamic was just very different than my husband and I's dynamic. And I
Mhm.
just consistently watched my mom do it all. And I had a partner who believed in me. I have. He's the same
I was
man.
like, "He's still there."
Still there. He believed in me from the very beginning. He's like, one of the main reasons why I want to be with you is because I know you're going to be a great mother. Like I want to have a family. I want that. And he just always believed in me. And I never really gave him the opportunity to be helpful, to step in his role as being helpful, being
Mm.
supportive. Because I was like, I'll just do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
You
It's
learned
a
that the
key.
hard way, huh?
Oh my God, the hardest way. The
Yeah.
hardest way. And if I just would have communicated exactly what I needed help with, what I was having a really hard time with, things would have been a lot better because my mom and him were really pushing me. You need more medical care. You need to do something more. Stop trying to take care of this yourself. Stop trying to just push through this. You need more medical care. And I'm just like, no,
Yeah, that
I can do
stubbornness, like
it.
yeah, it's just yeah.
And and listen, I'm an
Strong-willed, hard-headed.
yeah, and the thing is, in your postpartum hormonal fog, you need those loved ones around you that are going to tell you these things because you're not getting enough sleep. Your hormones are all over the
Oh, all over the
place.
place.
And so you can't really have the proper judgment of
Mm-mm.
what is okay and what is not.
Right.
And so,
He was only home for a week.
and the
Then the rest of the time I was home by myself
and
until my parents would come and check on me.
and
It was a
another
lot of
thing
alone time.
is, you know, as an out of hospital midwife who does not have prescriptive authority, we do all kinds of things
Right.
to keep people well without antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
But mastitis is the one thing that statistically you do not want to mess around with. As soon
No.
as you very first start getting those signs and symptoms of mastitis, I'm not talking about a clogged duct. That's a different scenario, a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But mastitis is tender, often red, often hot, and you have fever and flu-like symptoms. So the red, hot, tender spot is on your breast, and you have fever and flu-like symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start having those symptoms, you need to do something to massively support your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And you have got to just go to bed and rest
Right.
and do nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got rid of it's a miracle that I got rid of mastitis the first time. out of my left breast.
Mhm.
Hindsight's 2020. I look at that and I'm like, the fact that I was able to get rid of that is crazy.
Yeah.
Because we have pictures of me just a week postpartum, and I'm holding Evelyn, and I look gray. Like I look horrible, and it's
So you're not sure how the
May,
left
and
side
I'm
overcame
like,
it.
I'm like bundled up, like because I
You were
was freezing.
sick.
I was
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, for my clients, this is why I ended up getting antibiotics for my daughter, because once you get 20 to 24 hours into those symptoms, if they are not starting to come down a little bit and you're not improving, you need antibiotics,
Right.
because mastitis will get very severe very quick.
Right.
And so it's not something you really want to mess around with. It will take a mama out in no time, as
Right.
you are
Yeah.
here to tell
Yeah.
us.
And now, talk to us, Teresa, because we
Yeah,
still be
let's get back
Oh,
on the
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Let's go back to what happened
we
after the blood
digressed.
after
You're
the blood work
Um,
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I get up there, they get me in a room, and they are like, you're going to need to call your husband and your mom, and you're going to need to let them know you're not leaving. And I was like, okay. So I'm calling them, and I'm like, I'm not leaving. And my mom was like,
They're admitting me.
okay. My mom is a pharmacist. This is very key to the story. My mom is a pharmacist who has been pushing me this whole time to get better medical care for myself and to just go do it. And she's like, okay. She was like, well, I'm coming. And I was like, okay. So she loads Evelyn, waits for Evelyn to wake up, loads her up, and she's on her way. Michael's coming from work to come and see me. And at this point, I'm still there by myself. And they come in and they're talking to me, and my BP is just dropping steadily, just plummeting. And I can literally, I'm just starting to feel like I'm powering down, like, ooh. Like it's like, I just like remember like feeling and like hearing that, and like darkness like closing in. And they're like, we have to drain this abscess. Like they're moving quickly. They're like getting my blood work. They're like, we're going to have to drain this abscess. And that perked me back up so fast.
You're like, no, you're not.
I was like, I don't care if you're having to like drain it with the syringe again. I was like, I will not be awake for this. I was like, you're going to have to put me under anesthesia. Like I was starting to spiral really hard.
Yeah.
And it's like a PTSD trigger right there. I
For
was
sure.
like, oh my God. And they're like, we are going to have to take you to surgery. We're going to have to put a drain in. I was like, okay. Oh, I left out the part that my abscess is like now eating out of my skin. It was burning flesh smell. It's eating through my skin. It's horrible.
Oof. Oof.
And so it's a little fuzzy here because I was so not cognizant of everything. I was really in bad shape at this point. I can't remember if my mom or Michael was there before I went to surgery, but I went to surgery and I just remember like I was like I felt like I was dying. Like I was like, this is it. And then I woke up and I had a 10-inch pigtail drain put in my breast. And the amount of infection that was coming out, the infected fluid was, oh my gosh. But it was a lot. It was bad. But I was put on vancomycin. And my mom was there at this point. And my mom was there before I went into surgery because they had started me on the vancomycin because they had gotten my blood work back beforehand. And they were like, she has sepsis. She's going into septic shock. We need to move as quickly as we can, but we're going to get her started on this vancomycin. And I remember looking at my mom. I'm like, okay, an antibiotic, cool. My mom's eyes got as big as saucers, and she turned around, and I could see her shoulders like
She was scared for you?
shaking, and she was quietly crying.
Mm.
So vancomycin is a big gun. They don't use it. It is in life or death situations. That's what it's saved for, because they don't want infections to become resistant to it. So when you're getting vancomycin, it's real. Like
Yeah.
we are here to try to save your life at this point, and this is what we have to pull out. And then I went back into surgery, and then I came back out. And they were having to flush my drain every 4 hours. The abscess was still eating through the top of my breast. I was hooked up to IVs. I was still having to pump every 2 hours to try to relieve the engorgement. And I had the best nurses and I had the best doctors on my team. The infectious disease control team was great. They worked really fast. I was very lucky to be on the recovery floor for moms, which was really nice. I got great care. And they let my mom bring Evelyn every day. So my mom would leave and Evelyn would sleep at her house. And because she took FMLA, my husband couldn't take FMLA yet because he had just started a new job.
No, jeez.
So here's my mom taking care of this month-old newborn baby, bringing her back, picking up all the milk that I had pumped all night to take back home and feed her. My husband's coming after work to spend time with us there. Evelyn was very well known. My mom would like walk in, and if somebody was new on the floor, they'd be like, "You can't bring babies back in here." And they go, "Oh, no, Evelyn's fine." And they would be like, "Oh, we know this baby?" And my mom would be like, "Yes, her mom is the one with mastitis." They go, "Oh, go ahead, go on back." It's like, oh my gosh. But what happened to me happens in 0.05% of breastfeeding women. So it's pretty rare. They were coming in and they just were like, "Can we have residents, learn from this? Can we talk about this? Can we show them how we're taking care of you?" And I was like, absolutely. In this instance, absolutely, please, because I don't want this for any other woman. I don't want anyone else to experience this. And if they do, then I want them to see how to provide adequate care. They were like, "Okay, great." So there was that. I remember sitting there, and the doctor had come in. I think this was about 24 hours after getting my drain put in. I'm in the bed. My mom's over on the little couch, and Michael's like sitting in front of me, and he's holding Evelyn. And the surgeon, he was so nice. He was so nice, and he had just a stacked day, and he had come in there to talk to us, and he was so thorough and compassionate and caring. And I will never forget. He goes, "Full transparency, you are dying. You are in full-blown septic shock. We have done everything that we can. It is now up to you whether you're going to live or die. And you need to fight." And I just saw the lights in my husband's eyes just go out. Because that used to be his response to trauma. His trauma response was like, "I'm going to power down.
Check out.
I'm going to check out." And my mom, hers is like, "I'm going to fully engage. I'm going to listen to every single thing that I need to. I'm going to apply it, and I'm going to be like," so I'm very much like that. I'm like that,
Yeah.
which is a great thing, a great skill that I learned from my mom, because it's very helpful in those situations. But his was just to like disassociate.
When
And
did that happen? Was that the day you went in there, shortly after your surgery? Was it a couple days later?
It was after my surgery.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a couple hours after my surgery when I was a little bit more with it. I wasn't so like lucid.
Did anyone have the mind to say, if your people in the ER would have ran blood work 2 days ago, or it was just the very
God.
the day previous, wasn't it?
It was 2 days. So
It had
I
been
think
2
it
days.
happened on a Wednesday. I had gone on and gotten the abscess drained with the syringe. And then by Friday, I was back in the ER.
So in your little study of me, look back to the fact of how you should manage these situations when they come into the ER.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's do blood work. If there's an abscess
Yeah.
big enough that you
Right.
need to drain, you need to run blood work.
Right. Let's look at your white blood cell count. Let's look at what infection you have going on. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh,
So I was there for 2 weeks.
yeah.
2 weeks before you were well enough to go home.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I still had that drain in for another month that
What?
my mom was having to flush out every 4 hours.
So you had to have a drain for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks in the hospital and a month out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
So,
You weren't going nowhere doing that, were you?
oh no, I was
No.
in bed. I
Ugh.
was in bed. I was just, my mom would come and she would bring the Evelyn to me and I would just lay in bed and I would hold her and snuggle with her. And then, I got to the point of where I stopped producing milk. I was so traumatized that I said, I can't continue on
We're
with
not doing
this.
this. No more.
Mhm.
This is
No
all
more.
shut down.
We are
Shut
shutting up shop.
down.
I've
Mhm.
got to recover so I
Yeah.
can be a mom.
Yes, of
Mhm.
course.
And so then she got switched to formula. And that was another hard thing for me. I felt a
Yeah.
lot of guilt for that at the time. I don't anymore, but at the time I did. And
'Cause you're still in that hormonal,
Yeah.
chaotic,
Mhm.
postpartum time. Let you
Yeah.
look back and say, that was hard, but I made the right decision to do that.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would lay there. My mom would come and bring her into me and I would snuggle her. And then I got to the point of where I could feed her bottles. Like I had enough strength to feed her bottles. And then, bed to the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
flush
That's
my
it.
drain. That was it.
Yeah.
And then I finally got to go from the bed to the couch and hang out in there.
Yeah.
But then it was another month after that still of recovery, of having to live with my parents, having my mom and dad help me around the clock.
And that was not necessarily the mastitis. It's because the mastitis led to sepsis.
Yes. And I went into full-blown
And so
septic shock. My
Explain
organs were
to
shutting
the
down.
audience what that actually is.
So sepsis is when you get an infection in your bloodstream. So you have an infection and then it gets really bad and it gets into your bloodstream and it can make you really sick. So a lot of times sepsis is caught before you go into septic shock. And when you go into septic shock, your organs start to shut down, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen, your blood pressure plummets, and you're going into just
Going to
failure.
sleep.
You're going to
You're going
sleep.
to sleep.
You're just
in a not wake
powering
up time.
down. Yeah. If I would have stayed home,
It
if
would
I
have
would
been a
have
lot
not
worse.
gone, just within a couple of hours, I would have
Yeah.
been dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
gee.
It's crazy. 2 years ago, if we would have talked about this, I would have been crying at this point, but now I'm just so happy to be alive. I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
we are here.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like you had a second chance at life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember in the hospital praying. It's like, oh my God, please don't let me die. Please don't let me die. I
Mhm.
promise I will do everything in my power to be the best mom that I can be. Please don't let me die. I just kept praying that over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's what
Mhm.
mastitis led to that. And so, sure, you can recover from mastitis quickly, but you can't recover from septic shock
No,
quickly.
that's a long
That's why it
recovery.
took you months. Months.
Months. And before I even left the hospital, they were like, we're going to set you up for therapy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say
I
so.
said,
I
okay.
would definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got the drain removed, I started going to therapy every week.
Mhm.
So I had postpartum depression, I had postpartum anxiety, I had postpartum OCD, and I had severe PTSD. I had a hard time sleeping because I was afraid that if I went to sleep, I wasn't going to wake back up. So that was a lot. And that drain removal, I went in and they were like, this shouldn't hurt. We're just going to remove the drain. It should be good. They told me to take some Oxy before I went in, but I already was like tapering down off of pain medication. And so I only took a little bit of my, I think like half or a quarter of my Oxy. Oh my God. My skin had adhered to the drain and they had to like rip it out. It was so bad. One of the residents in there almost passed out.
Oh, I've seen actually a resident pass out before in certain situations. They're just like, they get all white faced and they're just like, where they're going down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
The doctor, she was like, is it okay if I have like a couple residents in here so they can see how to remove this? I was like, sure, no problem. Poor guy almost hit the floor.
Yeah. It's always the guys. It's the guys. It really is. It's always like a, oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Oh, so how, after this first experience, how did you feel about now going into your second pregnancy?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people couldn't believe that I was pregnant the second time.
So how were you feeling during that time? I know you and I had a lot of talks. You know, I was your doula and your birth photographer, but what were you feeling during that time, that season of, okay, I'm pregnant again?
Right.
What were like how you felt about your body after going to therapy and everything, and what you were thinking about breastfeeding?
So I was really excited to be pregnant. I think that's really important because a lot of people couldn't believe that I was having another baby.
Yeah.
But the issue wasn't with the pregnancy.
Yeah.
It wasn't with the labor and delivery. It was with the nursing. And so I was excited. I'm very much a person that if I have a problem or if I've experienced a problem, I am now going to do what I can to make it better the next time, to not have that experience. And I was like, I still want to try nursing. I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah.
And so
you're an overcomer.
Yes.
Us overcomers look at these things and they don't hold us back. It just makes us be like, I'm going to do that again.
Right.
I'm going to win this time.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to do it better.
And we're highly aware of things too, I feel like. So now we're like, okay, I want to actually test it in a way. It's like, that's how I am. I'm like, let's see if it's the same. Like, yeah.
Don't tell me no.
Exactly.
I'm like,
let me show you.
Have this like internal voice that is like, you are not a loser, which always is not the best thing.
Oh, I can relate.
So I was like, you're gonna do this. But there still was like some anxiety and fear in me.
For sure. Yeah.
And my mom was like, because she's my mom.
She was scared for you. She's like, are you sure?
Like, are you sure you want to do this? She's like, I'll support you. But like, I want you to have like already in your mind that if you have to go to formula, that's okay. Like, I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm so much cooler with it this time around.
Yeah.
And Michael was like, babe, whatever you want to do, I am here. I'm going to stand on my 2 feet. I'm going to support you. You have got this. Because we had a hard talk after he disassociated.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing you had to deal with. How long did he stay in that state?
While.
Oh.
A while. But that was a learned trauma response.
Yeah.
For him. He had lost his dad to cancer like a couple years before that. And so
he's had a lot of personal growth going through all of this as well.
4 or 5 years before we had Evelyn.
Okay.
He'd lost his dad to cancer, and that was a rough fight for his dad. And he just kind of disassociated. That's what he was taught how to do anyways. And he and this is important to the story. He was an alcoholic. And he had stopped drinking my first trimester that I was pregnant with Evelyn, and he had gotten sober. So he had not been sober for very long once this had all happened. It wasn't even a year yet for him. And so he still was trying to really figure out how to cope with life
Yeah.
sober. And then he's like, here's the mother of my child.
On death's doorstep.
She could have died.
Yeah.
I don't know how to process that. My normal coping mechanism of drinking and just checking out that way is gone.
This is why earlier at the very beginning you said this is an important story for everybody in your circle.
Yes.
Because there was probably so much takeaway and so many learned like growth things for both him and your mom and
Yes.
everybody.
Me accepting help, him being present, my mother acknowledging, oh, I also need to accept help myself, because that comes in way later down the road, which is great. So it was a learning experience for everyone, very pivotal in everyone's take on how they handle life thereafter. So yeah, I just was like, you can't do that. I was like, you can't disassociate. You can't check out. Like, I need you. She needs you. We need you. The man that you can be and who you truly are inside. And that's why I chose to have children with you and spend the rest of my life with you. You have to be that person every day.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And he's very much the man who is like, you lay it out. And he's like, okay. And he does it. There is no like, I'll work on it. He flat out does it. I said, you have to get sober or I'm leaving you because I have to for my well-being and for our baby's well-being. He said, okay, woke up the next morning and he went to AA. Cold turkey, stopped drinking.
Good for him.
I was
That's
like,
great.
You can't disassociate when we need you in scary, life-threatening, intense situations. He was like, okay, never did it again. Which is important because we have a couple more of those.
Now, is he utilizing things like therapy or what's his support system to help him figure out how to do that? Because that's very rare and unusual.
I don't know. He doesn't go to
Wow.
therapy.
Okay.
When he did get sober, he went to AA every single day for a very long time.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
So how long after Evelyn did you conceive Adelina?
2 years.
So you had a 2-year break. Did you
Yeah.
at any point after the sepsis and before you got pregnant the next time get to back where you were like, I feel great.
Oh yeah.
I feel good.
I felt fantastic. I planned a wedding. We got married. It was great. Evelyn was such an easy baby.
Okay.
So it just made recovery easy.
So you
Great
did
support
recover and you
system.
bounced before you got pregnant again.
Yeah.
That's so that's great. That's great.
But we worked really hard on that. I mean, we did a huge nutritional overhaul in our home and just lots of therapy for me, which then I in turn like used those skills with my husband.
Ah, yeah.
My therapist was like, your husband is not your dad. Let him help. Don't wait for that other shoe to drop. Talk to him. Tell him what you need.
I like this therapist. You
Be
might have to share the
transparent.
name later.
She's not here anymore.
Oh no.
Because I wanted to see her again.
Oh, yeah, that's
She's
right.
not
You did
here
mention
anymore.
that to me.
Which is really frustrating because she was phenomenal.
Sounds like a
because-
gem.
Yes, because I had so much self-growth and healing. It then like healed my relationship with my husband. And he was like, okay, I mean, that man is a sponge. He's so intelligent and he's so smart. And you're just like, hey, your life could be better this way if you do this. He's like, okay, great. Sign me up.
We need
That
to
is-
pull some of his, so whatever
I
his
know.
something and inject it into our
I
men.
took a huge risk on him. I mean, as a mother, and we're very like transparent about it. We still talk about our life before sobriety. And we're just like, this is, what was I trying to say? As a mother, I look at my husband and I am like, oh my God, if our girls bring anyone home like you,
Mhm.
I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he fully is like, I understand, why your mom hated me and was like, oh my God, is this who you really want to like hook your carriage to? Like, is this the horse you want?
Mhm.
And I played Russian roulette on that. I put it all on black and I did win. I mean, we're normal. Like, we still have our ups and downs and fight,
Mhm.
but I really
Hit the jackpot
hit
there.
the jackpot
Yeah.
there.
He was your diamond in the rough.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Deep in the
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
But he's
That's great.
He's fantastic. He's a great husband. He's a great dad.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he's just like, his favorite thing to say is happy wife, happy life. People think he's being sarcastic and kidding. He's like, no, he's like, my wife is happy. Like, things are moving
Yeah.
great, man.
I was gonna say everyone
My
in the house
life
is
is
happy.
great. Yeah.
That's great.
And he does what he can to be
That's
just
awesome.
a great husband and a great father. So yeah, we had that talk. I got pregnant again. We were very excited.
Because you just wanted another child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, we want another baby. And
Yeah.
I
So you're able to look past the things that cause anxiety and worry and fear,
mhm.
and just the gift at the end is going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much from that first
Oh my gosh,
experience.
yeah.
So I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
Were you okay?
Yes.
Did you breastfeed her?
I did. So there was a
deal.
lot that went into that. So I was a little nervous about breastfeeding,
Mhm.
but again, really great support. I
Mhm.
had started seeing a lactation consultant prior to having
Yes.
her.
You always tell your people to do that.
Yes.
Yes. It was probably her thing that made you do that,
Yeah.
huh?
I think
Yes.
I was, yeah.
You did. And I was just like, I have to the midwife that I was seeing
Mhm.
at the hospital, I was like, I need to start seeing a lactation
Mhm.
consultant. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. I want to
Say
know if
midwife.
this is possible.
She knew your story. Say midwife. She knew your
Yes.
story. Okay, good,
Yes,
good. So
that
she
was
was
helpful.
very willing to connect you.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So I got in. Oh my gosh, I still talk to this lactation consultant today because I think she's phenomenal. And just, oh my gosh, she's so wonderful.
Mhm.
But I was like, this is what
You
I
gonna
want to
name
do.
drop?
Can I?
Yeah.
Her name's Lindsay Calista.
Mhm.
I love her.
I have met her a couple of times and she just seems so sweet.
Oh my God, she
But we've
is.
never actually had mutual patients, but she just seems like a
Oh
sweetheart.
my God, she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, if anyone has to go through the hospital system here, I highly recommend her all
Yeah.
the time. I'm like, this is who you need to go see.
Good.
She is phenomenal.
That's so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we worked
What'd you
together.
say her name was again?
Lindsay Calista.
Beautiful.
I hope I'm saying her last name right.
You are.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Yes.
It's like, I hope I'm saying it right. I think I am.
Yeah, you are.
That's good.
But we worked together and we came up with a whole game plan of things that I needed to do prior to delivery, immediately after delivery,
Yeah.
and then throughout my postpartum period.
Uh-huh.
So the game plan was just to nurse from one breast because I had that 10-inch pigtail
Just
drain
let
put
that
in.
side be. Don't ever even get it
Nope.
started.
Because it's so destroyed
So
internally.
much damage.
There's
Yeah.
so much damage. My ducts were not going to empty correctly. I was going to be in the same boat.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I had the baby. Danielle was there. She was my doula. It was a great labor and delivery.
Okay,
Mhm.
let's. I gotta
Fantastic.
put a plug here.
Yeah.
Because Danielle is more than a doula.
She's a photographer.
She's
oh
a
my
photographer.
God. And
And-
videographer.
Yes, but also Danielle is a lactation consultant too.
Counselor.
Lactation counselor.
Semantics.
I know. Yeah,
Semantics.
that
Listen,
consultant.
this woman has been at births with me as the photographer, and I'm busy dealing with stuff that the midwife has to deal with.
Yeah.
And this woman is over here getting these first time mom babies latched, and
Mhm.
she put her camera down for a minute and helped that get.
Oh, I've
Listen,
experienced that with
she is
Danielle.
like everything in one.
Yes.
She's great. Yeah.
Yeah, she is great. I mean, I had Adelina and Danielle helped me get her to latch the first time. She had a beautiful latch.
Yes.
She was so
She
good.
did.
And you
She
know
had a
what?
beautiful
Having that
latch.
next baby that latches so good
Yeah.
is such a beautiful blessing after a baby who does not latch well.
Yes.
And we always pray for that when a mama is expecting a next baby, and that first baby was so hard. And I'm like, thank you, God, that you are letting this baby latch.
Yeah.
And yeah. So she did.
She did, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she did great. I was taking sunflower lecithin prior to having her. I want to say I started taking it at around 38 weeks.
I was going to ask if that was in your protocol.
Yes.
That's great.
So I just started taking it in the morning and in the evening. I think just 1 pill a day, morning and evening, just because my milk was so thick. So I started that. And then once I had her, it was 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. Yeah.
Yes.
So very successful. She got a bottle.
She got a bottle one time for you to get
from
some
formula.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me to get some sleep.
And it made a big difference.
And I pumped while Michael was feeding her that bottle. And then he just held on to her while she napped. And I was out like a light. And then it was great.
After that.
Super good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, what about the postpartum depression, anxiety?
So
Still struggled with some of that at
a
all?
little bit.
Okay.
I didn't really have any of like the traditional 2-week postpartum baby blues thing. I was like, I am doing so great. Oh my God, is this what it's like to have a baby? I could have 100 more.
Mhm.
I'm like, this normal, quote unquote, normal experience is a walk in the park. Okay, catch me 3 months postpartum. And I was like, I feel like I'm stuck in a hole. I'm like talking to Michael on the phone because he
Yes, that
travels
3
for
month mark.
work. And I am just like, I feel like I'm stuck. I'm in a hole. I'm like, I'm stuck. I'm like, I'm kind of spiraling at this point. And I'm like, I'm stuck. And he was like, okay, do I need to call your mom? I said, no, don't call my mom. He goes, we're going to come back to that question in a minute. And I was like, just shut up and listen to me. He's like, okay, you're kind of getting mean. Where are the kids? And I said, they're upstairs. Adelina's asleep. And I was like, and Adeline is playing in her playpen. And we had this gigantic, huge playpen. It was like massive. She's got a chair in there and all kinds of toys. And she's such a great independent player. I was downstairs doing laundry. So that's why I felt comfortable to call him and kind of spiral a little bit. He's like, okay. He's like, so the kids are safe. Good. Like, okay. He's like, well, tell me what you need to tell me. I was like, I hate you. I hate this. I was like, I feel like I'm stuck. And he's like, I love you. You love this. It sounds like you need some help.
That is so good.
Do
honestly.
I need to call your mom? I was like, no. I'm like screaming at him. I'm cursing at him. And he's like, what the fuck, Teresa? I'm trying. Sorry for the bad language.
I'm laughing. Listen, that could have been me. That was probably me.
That was me.
After multiple of my children at some point.
And I hope my husband watches this one and hears this because he was not alone in this situation. 3 months postpartum after Cora was those exact words that were said to him. Yeah.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this to me? This is never happening again.
Yes.
So, yeah. So then I had to acknowledge that I had some postpartum depression.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the crippling postpartum OCD with the obsessive thoughts and the creating emergency action plans for every little thing.
Yeah.
And my anxiety was okay, but I definitely had some postpartum depression where I just wasn't finding joy in things. I was having a hard time doing not the bare minimum.
Right.
And I just was like pouring everything that I could into my girls.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I hate myself. And I hate my husband, even though I love him dearly.
Yeah.
And he knows I love him dearly. And he's like, I know you love me.
It's inner turmoil. Like it's like what's going on in yourself, your mind, your body. Like you're feeling you're losing your sense of self. That's what it feels like. But you're very thankful for everything at the same time. So it's like there's this like war inside your head, this like back and forth. And it's like I call it postpartum rage. That's what it is. Because people think of
postpartum rage.
Yeah. It's like postpartum depression. People think, oh, sadness and crying and like, I mean, it's not that feeling like overwhelming, absolutely. But it's like more so you want to lash out on.
Oh, I picked any chance I could pick a fight with Michael. I was like, come be my punching bag, buddy. Poor man just took it. Some days he had enough of my stuff and he would just be like, I gotta get off the phone. And then, 20 minutes later, he'd call me back and he'd be like, okay, I'm calling on you to check on you. Are you okay? Are our kids okay? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes, my mom would come by and be like, hi, just checking in on you.
When do you think that finally shifted?
When I fully acknowledged it. When I was like, I'm super angry with you, Michael, all the time, and I am not finding joy. So I have the rage and the depression. I was like, once I acknowledged it, then I could implement the skills to combat it that I had learned in therapy. And then things got better from there.
Great.
So yeah, a lot better.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like a normal postpartum experience.
Does it?
More normal.
Does it? I was going to say, Sabrina, does it?
I mean, more normal. Maybe not normal, but common.
Yeah.
Maybe not normal, but common. We see that a lot. Compared to septic shock.
Yeah.
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 Most deaf.
That's what I mean. In comparison,
that
was much more of a normal experience than
like
what you had dealt with the first time.
Yeah.
And then how long after Adelina was born did you conceive again? Was she 2 yet? Or not quite?
I'm like trying to think about that. Yes. She was 2. She had turned 2 in August, and we had been trying prior to her turning 2 to conceive. And both Evelyn and Adelina were like immediate, like ovulated, pregnant. So for the 3rd pregnancy, it was months of trying, and then we finally conceived. And I knew something just kind of was off a little bit with that. This is going to sound weird, but I just like smelled weird. And I was like, my skin smelled weird. And I was like, something's not right. But I was like, it's okay. It's fine. I'm just like being over dramatic. I don't know. But
your intuition.
That
was intuition.
And I just kind of felt weird. I don't know. But normal at this, like normal enough that I was like, maybe I am being crazy. I hate to say that and use that, but I was like gaslighting myself because I just was like, it's fine. But I did end up having a miscarriage. So I had like called you and I was like, hi, do you want to be my midwife? Hi, do you want to be my doula again? And very excited.
I think it was, I'd come to your house and we sit and chatted for like a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah.
That you started miscarrying.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick. But
you would have been, how far along would you have been when that miscarriage started? 6 weeks?
I think around 6 weeks. I don't know. I kind of like buried that. Like really, if I went and I like looked
You'd remember.
at my tracking, I would know. But that fine detail, I kind of like buried deep in the recesses of my mind.
Like it was later than that, but I think we tried to meet pretty quick.
Yeah.
Maybe you were 8 weeks.
I was either 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't like beyond first trimester.
No.
It was definitely in first trimester.
I think it was probably around 8 weeks.
I think it was 8 too. Yeah.
And it was, we were like really excited about baby.
Yeah.
And then started having my miscarriage, and and Michael was gone for work. He was like on his way. Where was he? I don't know. On his way to somewhere far away.
And let's just say, when you say he's in work, he's an over-the-road truck driver.
Yes.
Like, so he's home on the weekends, but then he's gone Monday through Friday. He is gone and not like can just come home in 2 hours. He's away.
Homeboy is gone.
Yeah.
Me and my village that I have curated.
Mhm.
And so that miscarriage was not a simple clear cut. This involved also another trip to the ER.
It did.
You were then
Yeah.
sent home again, similar to your mastitis journey.
Yeah.
And then it was about the next day or 2 days later, you had to go back in.
Gosh, yeah.
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 And like going over a septic, like sepsis too, what about this, like once you get it, there's a certain window.
5 years.
5 years. Yes.
And I am not even kidding. Michael and I had talked about it 2 months, a month prior to me finding out that I was pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, can you believe, like, we're almost 4 years, like post-septic shock, like this window's almost closed. We've got like another year and some change and things, it'll be so good. Because you have to watch out for every illness, every infection,
Right.
like everything.
Because your body went there once before, it's more prone to go there again more
Absolutely.
easily.
Absolutely. And so I don't know why, but I didn't think about that while I was having the miscarriage. I say I don't know why, but I was so sad.
Yeah.
I was so sad about the
Yeah.
miscarriage.
Mhm.
And I had gone to my mom had come because, again, Michael was at work and I was just like, I'm pretty sure I'm having a miscarriage. So she came. I drove myself to the hospital and I was there
All day.
all day. I was there for 8 hours
Yeah.
probably. They just were oh my gosh. I am going to say this because I think that this is important. So whoever is
We tell the
listening to
truth
this,
here.
please listen.
Mhm.
I was sent to Gen Pop ER, not OB triage. So
They always do that unless you're 20 weeks or more, which is ridiculous.
Thank you. It is
It's
because I had to
ridiculous.
sit there.
You're not
when
the
I
only
could've gone to
person I've
OB
sent to the ER
triage.
with a miscarriage that was sat there for 8 or 10 hours and then we're like, go on home. You're fine. I'm like, no, you're not fine.
Because
Right.
then
What are we doing?
I wouldn't
Right.
have had to wait for an OB to come over to the ER to assess my results and then give me, the rundown of what was going on to discharge me. So I'm sitting there I'm like sitting in a wheelchair. There's nowhere to sit. They're so busy and overrun. Car accidents have come in, gunshot wound had come in, a stabbing had come in, and I'm just like, well, these are like, they're on like.
Okay, listen, let me just say something
Mhm.
though. This is part of the healthcare screwing women over.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, truth. Like,
Send
it
me
is,
to OB triage.
it is just a matter of you're just a woman. It's no big deal. I mean, it's infuriating. I could list off a whole list of women who experience that exact same thing. And you'll go over there and be like, no, I'm bleeding
Right.
heavily right now.
Yeah.
Just because I'm standing here talking to you and it's like pouring out of a wound here, this is not normal what's happening to me. And they're just like, go sit down. We'll get to you when we can. And it's just like, can I just come down to struggle you?
I will say the nurses who were there were so kind and they continuously checked on me in the waiting room. I went back, I got triaged, I got an ultrasound done and everything. Literally was just sitting there waiting to get discharged.
Uh-huh.
I was just sitting there waiting to get discharged.
Because
And they had done a shift change. And so when the nurses came back that were on their lunch break and saw that I was still sitting there, she was irate. She was like, what is she still doing here? How has she not been discharged? Oh my God. Like I can hear her talking at like the nurse's station. She is pissed. She comes over and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I look at her and I'm like, I don't care if they come and give me my results here so I can get discharged to go home. I know I've lost my baby or I am. Just please let me go home. I should have just gotten up and walked out, but I was not in the emotional state. She's like, okay, I'm going to take care of this. And then within 15 minutes, I was taken back to where all the rooms are in the ER, and I was just in the hallway, and they put up these like little dividers on each side of me. And then the doctor came and talked to me, and he was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you're experiencing this. I'm sorry that you've experienced this wait time here. He's like, you are having an active miscarriage. You do need to go home and you need to rest. If your bleeding increases, you need to come back. I was like, okay. I really should have been like, I went into septic shock a couple of years ago. You should probably admit me or at least do more blood work and just kind of see where things are.
But because of the emotional response of I'm losing my baby, you weren't in the right mindset to say that or to think that.
No. So I left and I went home.
Yeah.
And I rested, and my mom was like, you need to call Michael and have him come home. And I'm like, what, to sit with me while I lose our baby? She said, yeah, that's what he's there for. He's your husband. He's a damn good one. And he will come and he will sit with you and hold your hand. And he will be sad and he will be supportive. You need to let him do that. Do not revert back to how you used to be and push him away. I was like, oh, okay. So I called him and he was obviously very sad. And he came home. My mom went home. But I again just kind of was like pushing through. We had taken Evelyn to preschool that morning. And then we came home and I was resting. And before I went to leave to go pick her up again, the bleeding had increased. Like so much. I was like, pouring out of me blood. And I just was like, something's not right, Michael. And he's like, okay, well, you have to get more blood work done anyways. Like, why don't we just like pick up Evelyn and go to the hospital? I was like, okay. So we go and pick up Evelyn. Emotions are running high. We get in a little tiff. And I do. And we come home and I'm like rage cleaning. Definitely should not have been doing that, but I am. And he's like reading books with Evelyn and Adelina. And then it it kind of stops right there. Because then
your personal story stops right there.
My story stops right there for a little bit. And then Michael, it's like, I was giving you time to work through a little bit of your aggression. He's like, I saw like the hormonal dump happening. My emotions were high. I was giving you a little time to like work through this and just spend some time with the girls. He's like, 20 minutes had gone by and I was like, we really need to get you to the hospital. He's like, so I wrapped up with the girls and I started to look for you. Keyword, look for me, because he was calling my name. And I was not answering. And he was like, are you freaking kidding me? Is she hiding somewhere? She just like turned into this like little wild animal and is like hiding somewhere. So he goes, I went outside and I'm yelling for you. And he's like, I honestly was starting to get angry. And I come back inside and I was like, Teresa Marie, where are you? And he said, Evelyn. Oh God, sweet Evelyn. He goes, Poppy, she's in the kitchen. And he goes, I was so pissed. She goes, but it's the strangest thing. She won't talk to me. And he goes, and I got even madder. He goes, until I walked into the kitchen and I saw you collapsed on the floor unconscious. So while I was rage cleaning the kitchen, I had lost consciousness. They're pretty sure I'd had a seizure. Just tremendous loss of blood, a seizure, and hit my head a little bit.
What was your bleeding like leading up to that rage cleaning? Were you soaking through a pad?
I was, and I was having large blood clots. So, good times. Sorry, I make terrible.
And I'm only
light
saying this because
jokes
I'm
of
your
this.
midwife this time, so I get the privilege.
Yeah,
You chose me.
I did. I'm very confident in my choice.
This is one of those lessons that us women have to just suck it up and be like,
Oh, hell yeah. Very rarely does Michael get to be like, I was right. But man, I'll let him ride that gravy train every time he is.
Because, yeah, he saw it with you and he was like, we need to go. And you're like,
we need to go.
Our hormones sometimes are like just take over.
They're the
and
worst.
It makes our common sense like
Right.
non-existent.
Yeah. So he scooped you up and took you straight to the
Oh
hospital?
yeah. He was just like, he was like, there was like a puddle of spit on the floor. It's like drool on the floor. And he's like, I tried to wake you up and you kind of came to and you just were like, like terrified kind of looking. And he's like, I picked you up. I put you on the couch. He's like, and then you collapsed again.
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, I have to get her to the ER. So then he loads the girls into the Tahoe. He comes in and he weekend at Bernie's me into the Tahoe. He's like, my God. He's like,
You're dead weight.
dead weight. You're a lot.
You're a small person, but
Mm.
you're really heavy right now.
I know. Yeah. And he just was like, yikes. So he gets me in there. He said that I just was like my head was just kind of all over the place. He said I kept trying to fight it and come back to. And so he was having to like hold my head so I wouldn't hit it on something. And he constantly was having to be like, we're on our way to the hospital. We have our girls with us. You are going to be okay.
Was he able to call your mom so
He
she could
did.
try to meet you there?
So he called my mom and he said to my mom, you know, I found Teresa unconscious. I'm not really sure what to do. And he said my mom told him, you need to take her to the ER right now. Hopefully someone there will remember her or something. And so he's like, okay. And she's like, I'll meet you there. So he takes me to the ER. He pulls up and I guess there's a security guard outside. And he's like, I have to run my wife in, or my girls are in the car. Please watch. And he's like, I've got it. So he takes me, he gets a wheelchair and they get a wheelchair, they put me in it and they take me in. He said they were moving so fast. They saw me. He goes, I've never seen them move so fast. Like walking into an ER, not coming off an ambulance, but walking into an ER. He goes, I've never seen them move so fast to triage someone.
Because they can see it. They can see it when the patient is really
I was
out like
unconscious.
that,
Like
you
I was
know?
out and I came back to when one of the nurses was putting an IV line in. And I was like, oh my God, where are my kids? Because I had triaged with her the day before, 2 days before when I was there.
It was the same nurse.
It was the same nurse. And she was like, I am so sorry that you're back here. She said that, I'm so sorry that you're back here. But I knew where I was because I recognized her. And I just was like, where are my girls? And she goes, your husband has them. He's parking the car right now and then they'll be in. I said, okay. So they take me back and now I'm just like coming in and out of consciousness. They've given me medicine so I don't have another seizure. They are like taking my blood work. My mom finally gets there. God bless my mom. Evelyn is scared witless. My oldest, my first. Adelina's like, woo! They're giving me snacks and juice. The party up in here. She's something. But my mom to the nurse goes, have you checked for sepsis? The nurse is like looking on the computer. She's like, well, we've done blood work here. It shows. She goes, no, I'm asking specifically, have you had anyone check her for sepsis? Have you cultured her blood? Have you looked at it? Like we need to know what's going on. Or have you ran any cultures and checked her white blood cell count? We really need to go. We need to know what's going on. She goes, no.
Why would we do that?
My mom goes, well, she went into septic shock less than 5 years ago. She goes, oh, and I kid you not, this nurse ran out of the room. She did not
Go tell a
walk.
doctor.
She ran out of our room. And then very quickly, someone was in there to get more labs. And then within an hour, I'm starting to feel the power down. And I looked at Michael and I said, I'm dying. And he goes, do you think you're going into septic shock? I said, I know I'm going into septic shock. He said, okay. And not long after that, someone like comes in, a doctor comes in. Oh my God, he's so sweet. I want to say he was like he had to be in his 30s. He was so nice, around my age. And he was like, loss is so hard. I've experienced that because this is worst case scenario besides dying while also losing your baby. He was like, we have to move fast. He was like, you have sepsis. You are showing signs that you are going into septic shock. He's like, we need to do an emergency D&C. And they had done an ultrasound, and I knew what I was looking at as a doula. I knew what I was looking at. There was no baby in there anymore. There was no gestational sac. Michael had no idea. And so Michael was like, well, what about the baby? Bless his heart, holding on to that like tiny little shred of hope. And the doctor was like, your baby is gone. She just now has a raging infection in her uterus that we really need to go in and we need to clean out. And we really need to get her started on some antibiotics. They should be arriving any moment now. And we're going to get her started on those. And then we're going to take her back for an emergency D&C. And we were like, okay. He hands me the paperwork. He's like, you need to read over this and sign it. And I handed it to Michael. I said, I literally can't read right now. I literally could not read.
Mm-hmm.
And he is looking all over and he's like, okay. He's like, Teresa, just sign your name here. And I signed my name. And then I'm just like really struggling to stay conscious. And I was like, I don't want to die. And this time I was really scared. Like I was really
You're like, oh crap, it's happening
scared.
again.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to die. I looked at him and I was like, I don't want to die. Please don't let me die. I don't want to die, Michael. And I was like, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave our girls. I'm like spiraling and just starting to lose it. And he holds my hand and he looks at me. He's like, you are the strongest woman I know. He's like, you are not going to die. And if you were, you wouldn't even let yourself die. I was like, okay, thanks. And so they wheel me back. And then, it's like in a movie, you know, you like get to walk like with your person so far and then the double doors and then you have to stop. It literally was like that. And he gave me a kiss and then I was gone. And they get me into the OR and they tried to move me. And I felt like I was going to break in two. I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh my God. And they were like, her fever's rising. Her BP is dropping. We need to get her under anesthesia now. So they didn't even transfer me. They immediately put me on anesthesia. The anesthesiologist, she was like, honey, we're going to go ahead and start your vacation a little earlier. Slaps that on and puts me out hard and fast. I've been under anesthesia multiple times, but I was knocked. There was like, count back from 100. None of that. It was like, see ya. And so they did that. And then they obviously, from looking at my medical chart, then they like moved me, performed the D&C. And then I stopped breathing after the D&C. When they went to go get me, transfer me back up to the recovery floor in ICU, I stopped breathing and started to crash. So they had to bring me back a little bit, do some emergency care. And then I came to, they gave me some Narcan and that helped start things enough that I was like not awake, but like breathing heart back to regularity. And yeah. And then I was put into bed with all these like little things to like massage my legs to prevent blood clots and everything. And then I woke up just vomiting profusely. And then I was awake, no baby, pumping full of antibiotics for the septic shock. So, and that was really hard this time on my body. I was able to have one IV line and just the vancomycin was able to go through that. But because they had caught it earlier, I was able to do 3 different antibiotics to combat the septic shock and sepsis this time around. But it was so hard on my veins that they had to constantly keep moving the IV because it would blow my veins. So, and I was there for a week, like 4 days ICU, a day in gen recovery, and then discharged. And then that was about a month of just bed rest, taking it slow, letting everything heal. So yeah, pretty scary, pretty bad.
It sounds like you were actually in more danger this time. Do you think it was because of the blood loss associated with the miscarriage? Or just because it was the second time you got sepsis?
I think a combination of the both.
Yeah.
Or combination of the two. Yeah. Yeah. So
now your 5-year time clock started again.
Round 2, baby.
Oh.
Yeah. So that 5 years starts over again. So now we just have to be like really conscious of everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. We can do it. We persevere. So, but yeah, so that was a lot of work. That was a lot of working through it. I was like really sad. I was really depressed. Trying to work through that while like being a mom is not easy.
Because the first time you at least had a living baby you're holding.
Yeah.
And that second time you went to septic shock almost. You didn't have, like, you lost a baby, so you're grieving the loss of a child and this horrible illness,
Oh yeah.
you know?
Ugh,
A
I
lot
cried a
going on right
lot.
there.
I cried. I'm a crier anyways.
And honestly,
cried a
that
lot.
wasn't very long ago.
No, so
It's just like a year and 3 or 4 months.
yeah.
'Cause
That
it was right around the first of the year last year, wasn't it?
yeah, it happened at the end
It
of
was in
January
yeah.
of 24. Right? No.
No,
Oh my
it was
god,
It was
25.
25. Yeah.
Yeah, in January of
January.
25.
Yeah, I remember the day I met you was January 23rd of 25.
Yep. And it happened on the 29th, I want to say, which is kind of crazy because my septic shock the first time, like when that whole thing started, was June 29th. 29,
Interesting.
man. What you got for me?
Oh
I
my
hope
goodness.
2029 is really kind.
Oh.
So, yeah, so there's that. And I did what I could to work through that. I had great support. I'm very much a person who talks through things to process them. And I also believe that miscarriage is something that needs to be acknowledged because so many women go through it alone. So I also am someone who, when I get pregnant, I will tell you that I am pregnant immediately. I have been because I'm like, if something bad were to happen, I want my people to know. I don't want to have to be like, oh, well, I'm devastatingly sad because I had a miscarriage. I would rather be like, I had a miscarriage. Oh, well, it makes sense of why you're needing extra support right now.
Yeah.
And I had a really good village.
Right.
We had people helping get Evelyn to and from preschool, making meals for us. It was really wonderful to see the community rally around our family because it was such a traumatic loss. So, but we worked through it. And I knew things kind of were off. We took some time. I took some time to like heal personally. My husband was like, I would love another kid, but I love you more than wanting to have another kid. So whatever you want to do is what we are going to do. And I was like, okay. For a while, I was like, I don't want to do it again. I'm too scared. I don't want to do this again. And then I took some more time and I was like, let's give it a shot.
And here we are.
And here
growing
we
that sweet
are.
baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying again. And it just wasn't working. And I was like, I know something is still off. And I was like, I know it's not him. So I went and I had some blood work done. And then I kind of had some more like woo-woo-y kind of stuff done. I don't know.
Woo-woo-woo-y?
Woo-woo-y.
Okay, what's your
What's a
woo-woo-woo-y stuff? You
woo-woo-y?
gotta tell us.
No, here.
So I did like the muscle vial testing, like the
Okay.
muscle reaction testing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, I did that, and then I also did I just did that one because I walked in and I was like, I need some help. I was like, I'm not getting pregnant. Help me get pregnant.
Mhm.
Something's wrong with me. I don't know if I need acupuncture, different chiropractic adjustments. Help me. And she was like, okay, sit down. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. She was like, this will take like less than 5 minutes. And I was like, okay.
Mhm.
So I did the little testing that she had for me, and she was like, your pineal gland is blocked. You have some inflammation on your thyroid. She's like, you have leaky gut. And she was like, and you have a buildup of toxins in your uterus. And I was like, okay. She's like, here, take this supplement. She was like, and then I'll see ya, maybe in a month or two. And I was like, okay. I started taking it. She was like, you'll feel different pretty soon after. I started taking it, and the next day I felt like I was on SSRIs.
The detox?
Like,
Was it the detox?
it was this supplement
I'm
that
just
she had me
saying,
taking.
what was making you feel that way?
Oh, yeah, it was like
Your body was cleaning
detoxing,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like regulating my hormones. So it literally felt like I was like on Zoloft,
Mhm.
which I had been on like and as a teenager and through college and stuff. So I know what it feels like to be like on a mood stabilizer. And I just was like, this is wild. I had more patience for my children. I had more grace for myself. I felt like a fog had like lifted off of me. I had more emotional clarity. I could regulate better. It was crazy. And then I had my first period, and that about took me down. I mean, my blood pressure plummeted. I was like contracting so hard during it. Just a really heavy period. But after it finished, it was really short. It was like 3 days long. And usually it's like a week long, but it was only 3 days long. And I felt like a new woman. And then I ovulated and I got pregnant.
Yeah, I feel like I need to chat on this stuff. Yeah, I've been diving deep into the whole
I cannot
hormones of it.
recommend her enough.
Yeah.
Is it somebody local?
Yeah, she's in Mexico.
Okay.
So,
What's her specialty?
so
Yeah, you're okay, now I know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay.
So she does the muscle vial testing. She also does mead testing, which is she puts like a sensor here, and then she tests like pressure points and stuff. It helped Evelyn tremendously when we were dealing with other stuff, and my husband and Adeline. I cannot. It's Dr. Casey. I have to drop her name because woman got me pregnant. I mean, she didn't get me pregnant, but she helped me get
Assist
there.
you along the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she is fantastic, and
She's reading the energy in your body and the signals that it's sending.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's amazing. So yeah, she was like, "Oh," I was like, "I'm pregnant." She's like, "Oh, well, I have a great success rate still then." And I'm like, "Fantastic.
That's great.
Fantastic."
What's her we have talked to her about her fix for preventing sepsis.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just tossing that out there. Not that we'd actually have to, but
Yeah.
since she has so many
I know.
tricks.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great, and I've been like so much better. When I started to feel like that raginess my first trimester, like I'm feeling really ragey, which every pregnancy I have had, I get really ragey my first trimester with that real big hormone change. Poor Michael. This is all right. He like powers through, and he's like, I know this is not you, so I'm just gonna let it roll off my shoulders like water. It's fine. I didn't have that this time around. And
Good.
when I started to feel it, we just upped my supplement, and it nipped it in the bud. And it was so great. And I loved it. But yeah.
Awesome. See, that woo-woo stuff, it works.
Hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
I'm
too.
here for it.
Oh my
Wow, that
goodness.
is quite a wild journey that you've been on with
Yes.
mothering.
Yeah. So, like, the crazy
Yeah.
things can happen. You can let them make you scared to try again or work through it and try again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want to ask one more thing too
Oh, yeah,
before
go for
we
it.
close this off. But like off with all these experiences, what has this taught you as a woman? Like how do you look at yourself now than what you did before you before you had your children?
Can I say some bad?
Say some bad words.
I
Do
mean,
it.
genuinely, I'm like, I'm a badass motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
And rightfully
I'm
so.
like,
Facts.
Yeah.
I am here to live and I am here to do like what I want and
Yeah.
what I can. And these horrible things have happened.
Yeah.
How can I use them to help other women
Yes.
Yes.
realize how powerful they are?
Mm-hmm.
If you would just take a moment to believe in yourself and realize what amazing things you can do.
Mm-hmm. We're going to change the world if we could get more women to believe these
Yeah.
things.
No.
Yeah. I think these experiences just open up that way and that thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like. So that's why when I see people go through bad experience or like just very traumatic experiences, I'm like, in a way, at that time, it feels like the world's crumbling and falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, my
then when
God.
you're
Yeah.
able to look back at it and be like, that is what made me how I am today.
Right.
And like I've been seeing your work, like you be stepping into that doula role now, and like the videos, things that you're making, the
Mhm.
reaching out to women in such a way that is just incredible. And
Thank you.
so, yeah. So I'm so excited to be on this journey
Oh,
with
I know.
you again. Like,
I've loved this pregnancy. I mean, I've loved all my pregnancies. Well, the third one was pretty
yeah,
sad, but
yeah, yeah.
I have loved them all in their own ways and different
Yeah.
ways. But this one I have felt so supported
Mm.
and so seen and heard, and it's because of you guys and my village at home, and that's great. And I wish everyone had that, and I wish everyone knew you could have that in ways.
Mhm.
Sometimes you got to go out of
Same.
sometimes you got to go out of your comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
to be able to have those experiences. So,
But it's worth it
oh my God,
to get uncomfortable,
I
to
know.
have a really
If
empowering,
I
great
would have
experience.
listened to I'm going to say this right now. If I would have listened to my husband the first time, I would have had a home birth the first time, because he was like, you can do it.
Mhm.
You can have a home birth. That would be great. I think that that's what we should do. And I'm like, no, I cannot. I've been told, like, I'm lucky that I'm pregnant. I have been told that I will more than likely have to have a cesarean. Like, I had been prepped for that since I was in high school. I have scoliosis, I have a tilted pelvic bone, and my hips are uneven. And they were like, you carried a full term, that'll be a miracle. You'll probably be on bed rest by your third trimester, and no way your baby's gonna come out of that hip situation you got going on there and with your pubic area and everything. I was like, okay.
Mhm.
Ooh. You
Mhm.
know, this poor little
But
teenage
you went through
girl.
some hard stuff and you realized, wow, I
Yeah.
can do stuff people tell me I can't do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it makes you more resilient.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
makes you be like, let me show you.
Let me show you. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Adelina was unmedicated. She was a complete physiological birth. Great. Awesome. I was way more prepared. I had become a doula prior to having her also, because I knew things could be different. And I had a doula, which really changed the game, especially in a hospital setting.
Yeah.
And so this time around, I was like, we're home birthing it. Michael's
Yeah.
like, because he
Good.
really believes in like the divine feminine. He is like, you were made to be awesome.
Do it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
I know. I'm so excited. Like, I'm so
excited for you.
excited. Not
Yeah.
to like wish time away, but I'm like, I am ready to have this baby.
Yeah. We just came off this long series of interviewing first-time moms who chose home birth. And while that is amazing, and I even tell them this, I tell this to all my clients. It's more amazing when a woman can have a home birth after she's had hospital births, because then you really experience the true difference
Mm-hmm.
and you cherish it and appreciate it so much more. And so I get so giddy with excitement for families who've done it in the hospital and they're getting ready to have their first home birth, because
Yeah.
it's just totally, you think a natural childbirth in the hospital is empowering, wait till you do it in your house.
Yeah.
It is so life-changing.
I'm just like
I'm
so ready to
excited for
have
you.
my baby and not have to leave to go anywhere.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah. It's amazing. We've gone a long time,
I
but man, you
know,
had so
sorry.
much to share.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being here to share it
Yeah.
with us. I think it's going to be really, really impactful
I hope so.
to so many
I
mamas.
hope there are women out there who listen to this and realize like, oh, I'm not alone.
That's right.
No.
That's right. And those of you listening, if you have questions, please comment on
Oh,
this
yeah.
video. Please reach out to one of us, and because we want to support you. You don't need to go through things like this alone. And if you don't have support or a village, we will do our best to help you in whatever way
Yeah.
we can.
To fill
So
that void.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you're not alone, and you can do hard things, way harder than you can possibly imagine.
You can.
Yes.
You can do
Yes.
hard things.
Yes, yes. And so thank you again,
Yeah,
Teresa,
you're
for
welcome.
being
Thank you for
here.
having me.
Yeah.
So nice.